Ian Doyle of the Echo said, Liverpool are continuing with attempts to thrash out new deals for top scorer Mohamed Salah and skipper Virgil van Dijk, who, like Alexander-Arnold, are at present set to leave on a free transfer in the summer. It gets a bit tiring hearing the same crap put out all the time, that Liverpool are hopeful, Liverpool are optimistic, Liverpool are working on. All we want to hear is that Liverpool have done, because Hughes has taken the piss with how long he's tried to negotiate these deals, and to have not got one of them over the line is nothing short of unacceptable for me as a fan anyway, and I can only speak for me, but it's piss take that we're still here, because apparently we want them all to stay, but we can't find a number to make them stay. But also, money's no object this summer, and Liverpool are going to spend a load of money in the transfer market, but also we have to be careful because these lads want a lot of money. None of it adds up to me. You know, like I've said, if Liverpool had the intention of wanting these done, they could get them done, and get them done a hell of a lot quicker than they have been. So what do you guys think about the situation? Do you buy that Liverpool are still trying to trash out all these deals and have been, you know, really making a concerted effort to get them all done over the last 7 or 8 months, but have just been unable to find a way? That stinks to me. It's always stunk to me. Because how can you get a transfer done for a player in a couple of weeks? Look at Dominic Szoboszlai. Went in, done, dusted in 48, 72 hours. And always, there's talk about Conor Bradley, by the way, in a new deal. I'm going to cover that in tonight's roundup video coming up at about 11, so keep an eye out for that one. Mukarab said, based on the only vague offer we know Salah was offered, it's pathetic. Mukarab, if you're, yeah, I know what you're speaking about, mate, and I agree. If that offer that that Egyptian journalist mentioned that was significantly less than he's currently on, if that's the type of offers that are being pushed across the table, my question is, do you know what? Not even my question. Simple statement. I'm going to write this out as a poll for the last 15 minutes, so bear with me. Quick question. Do you think the journalists have pushed hard enough on the contract situations? Because I don't. And I want to know what you guys think, because it feels to me like I think they've taken the piss. Because they all wrote that it was priority number 1 for Hughes. But where's the pushback on Hughes? I've not seen it. Have you seen any clips of any of these journalists in the press conference or writing out to say that Richard Hughes has taken the piss and hasn't got these deals sorted out, and that it's a failure to do so? Because like I've said many times, they all wrote, every single one of them, that it was priority number 1 when he came in the door in the summer. And now here we are, March, and not one of them done. And I've not seen a critical word written about it. All I've ever seen is Liverpool are hopeful, Liverpool are optimistic, Liverpool believe this, Liverpool that, but never, this isn't good enough. How on earth are you shitting the bed so much? None of it. And it's appalling. Appalling to me that they get away with it. Pushed hard enough, I don't think they've pushed it all. They just keep asking slot and press conferences. Exactly. And this is the thing. These people sit there and think that they are important and think that they are the bastions of morality around football and the questions and the probing, and all that they are yes men and lackeys that sit there and don't ask the tough questions and don't call out the failures of the club. It's okay to be critical of something you love. Every person in your life that you love, you have at some point or another disagreed with stuff on and said it as much. And that's okay. You don't have to be as blunt about it as I would be, but to not ask how we're here, I find it astonishing that they don't get called out more by the readership, if they still have any. The whole thing, I know they hate being called cowards, but, you know, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, quack. I think it is extremely piss poor that they consider themselves journalists, but yet are basically afraid to be critical. And not critical for the sake of being critical. it's a situation that should be called out, because you can't keep saying the club wants it, they're desperate for it, they really are hoping, and then not question the failures to get it done. Fucking dopes, honestly, absolute clowns, and I'm sick of them. Sick of them looking down on people. I'm sick of them sitting there not doing their jobs and wanting a pat on the back and an attaboy for being nothing but fluffers. To the 16%, if you're one of the 16% so far who have said yes, they have pushed hard enough, please explain where you've seen this, and I'll happily go and have a read of it and come back on and tell you that I'm wrong. Because I've not seen it, and I like to think I'm pretty good at covering the bases for Liverpool content. I read a lot, I watch a lot. Only clips though, to be honest. I don't watch every stream of everyone, but I do see clips every now and again. And I struggle to see who these 70% of people are. So look, you voted. So if you voted and said yes, explain to me and let me know where I can see the pushback that you've seen that maybe I've missed. Because I think you're full of shit. Sorry. I do. I think anyone that's voted in there to say yes they have, you're either not a Liverpool fan or stirring shit, because as I said, I don't see how you can. I don't think it's even a subjective thing, to be honest with you. Michael said, Craig, we're not going to see them in a Liverpool shirt next season, are we? Do you know what? I think we do. I think we do, but I think the club are playing a dangerous game, and I think it's trying to get the lowest deal that they'll sign. And it's great if it works, but I think ultimately it could also lead to a feeling of disrespect, or, imagine being Virgil and Mo or Trent and reading about the payoff to Klopp and his backroom staff, but no money for you. They walked away and left the club, but no money for you. Quit the club, here's 10 million. Which is fine, but you can't then say no money for the top goal scorer, no money for the captain. That is a very risky strategy, in my opinion, and one that leaves them open to feelings of feeling disrespected. Have you noticed that since I called out to people who said yes, there's more of them voting yes in the chat, as if they're just trying to bait me into more anger? So I see you people who are voting yes, but I've not seen any of you yet who've backed up your yes with a reason. Is there a reason for that? So come on, if you voted yes and you think the journalists are doing enough, explain to me where it is and where you think they've pushed back. And if you can't explain it to me, then I'm going to have to just assume that you're baiting. Pasky said 3 generational talents at this moment in time could be leaving the club at the end of the season. Those journos simply respond, oh well, it's a shambles, they should be demanding get these done. Kathy's made a really good, and I know it seems a simplistic point, Kathy, but you've hit the nail on the head, mate. You've said the club wants them to stay, the players want to stay, so what's the hold up? You ain't wrong, Kathy. You ain't wrong. Look, Trent, we know it may be a decision that isn't on the club's side. Trent might have to make up his mind, but that point, Kathy, I can't get away from. What is the hold up? If everybody wants it, if they want it and the club want it, what's the hold up? You're right. Stooby-Doo said, I've begun to relax about Virgil and Mo's contracts as I think they'll be sorted. I think they will as well, for what it's worth, mate. I do. I think they get done. But I think it could have been done a lot sooner with a lot less anxiety throughout everyone. And I felt like, it was an unnecessary distraction that could have caused some issues at the end of the season. Now, thankfully, things are going well, and we're all very happy for that. And I agree. I think they get done as well. But I don't know what's taken so long. And I'll never know why it took so long. I think they pushed enough in the start of the season, but lately they haven't pushed enough at all. They haven't even spoken about the contract situation the last 2 to 3 months, said Sophus. JCF102 said the whole situation is disrespectful and pathetically cheap. The club are acting like these 3 contracts that they need to sort can't be cheap forever. Nobody will stay, said Trey. The longer they don't sign, the more Mo and Verge are proving they're worth more than what's been offered, said Mukrab. Yeah, and I think Mukrab, I think Arne Slot said something similar the other day, that basically the more Mo scores and the better he's playing, the more they're going to have to pay, which I guess, is the downside of the gamble if you're the club. Because if you were hoping that you could knock the price down by them maybe not having a great season, well then, whoops. You know, thankfully for us fans, they've had a brilliant season. And now it's going to be an even bigger shitstorm if they don't get sorted out. Because you cannot sell that to a fan base. Oh, we think they might have fallen off. Well, he's just literally smashed every record. But what? But you're cheap. But you can guarantee if one gets injured, the offer is reduced to an injury record, even though Salah's missed like 10 games. But this is something as well that we don't think about from the player side. So if one of them does, like let's say one of them did an ACL, they've got no guarantees for their families then moving forward. So to want these guys to go out and leave it all out there on the pitch and be pros, put their bodies on the line, live the right lifestyle, play like animals and machines, run up and down the pitch, you want the buy-in, but you don't seem to have the faith to pay them. I, as a player, would find that incredibly undermining if I was in their situation. And I think it's only out of their respect for the fans and the club, and you can see how much Virgil and Mo love the club, and Trent's already spoken about his own feelings of love growing up as a Liverpool fan. It doesn't feel like the club are saying, we believe in you guys, we think you should be here for 2 more years. You know, it doesn't feel like we're in a great rush to show them that faith.